Been a while, huh? Hasn't it been? I'm out here in the garage, and we're going to talk about when you work with an idiot, you know. And I worked with one for a few years until I finally realized this guy, yeah, he's an idiot. Let me open up my water here. Hold on a second. People probably think, why do we drink water in a can? Well, if you drink it in a can, you can recycle the can and get money for it. But if you drink it in a bottle, chances are you're not going to recycle that plastic bottle. And chances are it's not going to go into a landfill. But anyway. So, I started working, where this girl started working with us. And she was a single mom. And after so many years, she got her son, both her sons working there, and then her ex-husband, but they ended up getting married. And she told me one time that at a festival or something like that, he was really drunk and totally degraded her in front of everybody. Was just sitting there calling her names and everything as they're walking to the car, and I was like, well, okay. Maybe he changed. Well, she ended up marrying him. And I thought he was really cool and everything. We talked and everything. In the morning, we would talk, but that got on my nerves because he'd want to sit there and talk for 10 minutes. The day already started, and he wants to sit there and talk. And I don't like that. I got work to do. You know, I don't care how nice you are. I don't care how cool you are. I got work to do. Well, he had a pickup truck it was black, and it was a beat up pickup truck, and this should have been a red, this is one of the red flags. I always look at people like this with duct tape. Duct tape was on it, and that should have been a red flag there, but I didn't, I overlooked that. Well, he started, and his kid was there, she was there, and then he worked there. I think she ended up leaving. She ended up getting a degree in child psychology, and welfare paid for that. She didn't pay for it. She went to an actual university and got this degree, and it took her 3 years to get it, and she never put it to good use. So should she have to pay that money back? I think so. The DoorDash. So he started working here, and then he ended up leaving. He quit. He found another job. Oh, I'm going to make this much money, whatever. You know, whatever it was. I don't know. Well, he ended up getting laid off at that place. Surprise, surprise. No surprise at all, because I know how he is. And then he got hired back again. The guy gave him his job back again. And the thing is, when people get content at a job, that's where it goes out the window. Their work ethic goes out the window. And this guy had an iPad. So he would sit there and watch cartoons or TV shows as he's working. And he would sit there and look at his phone constantly, too. I watched him one time. 15 minutes, he looked at his phone 31 times in 15 minutes. He's got work to do. Now, partial blame is the the employer for letting him put up with this crap for so long. Well, anyways, if it was up to me, I would be like, hey, you can't have an iPad up here. You can look at your phone. I don't want to catch you on your phone 5, 6, 7 times a day. That's ridiculous. You don't need it. So, anyways, I think phones are a detriment to anything. I think the phone, a cell phone, causes, whenever they say NBA finals, whatever, are playing and how much lost productivity, I think cell phones triple that at least. So he would work, and it would take 20 minutes to a half an hour to do one job. All right, he has one thing to do. It takes him just over an hour, maybe 55 minutes to an hour and 5 minutes. This is because he knows. He milks it out. He just knows he's not getting fired. If he sees somebody going up to break a minute early, he wants to up that, so he'll leave at 2 minutes early. Again, that's on the employer for not getting him on that, not calling him out on that. He would take old pallets apart, all right? He would take pallets apart, and he would take the wood home and make things out of them to put in the yard. Now, this is not even treated lumber, so anything he makes outside, planter boxes, they're only going to last like 3 or 4 years, and they're just going to rot away. And he uses drywall screws that are brittle and they rust, so it just matches up the work you're putting out anyways. It's just garbage. He was saving the nails that he'd pull out of these pallets as if nails are hard to come by. Oh, look at me, I'm being creative and I'm reusing. No, you're stupid. You're an idiot. You can buy nails. I threw some wood in a dumpster and he climbed in a dumpster. It was a 6.5 foot tall dumpster. He climbed in that damn thing and got this scraps of 1x3s out of there. So anything I throw away in the dumpster, I coat it with oil. I was like, dude, I don't know. Anyways, he had, those utility knives, you have the razor blades on them. He was saving those blades. He had like 20 or 30 of them on a machine that I seen today. And I was like, what the hell is this? Like you're going to save them and sharpen them or something? You could buy a 50 pack for like $7. I don't know. He never got a raise. He worked there for like 4 years. He never got a raise because we had 18, 19-year-old girls working there doing the same job, putting out double what he puts out. Again, that's the employer's fault. Girls. There was a lady that worked there. Her daughter worked behind him. That's the only time he would actually start working. The only time he started working. I'll be damned if a girl's going to get ahead of me. He had garbage cans. He brought garbage cans from home. I don't know, from where he used to live. He moved into this other Section 8 housing, and he had like at least 4 garbage cans, and they're all full of garbage. He wouldn't take it out every day because he was that lazy. He always had, the garbage cans would be full. His garbage around the machine, he had a bucket with paper tossed into it. It was a bucket with these load tags that went inside these things, and he just crumpled them up and threw them in there if he had extra ones. I was like, why are you saving that? Why don't you throw it in the garbage? When you cut down, something is stretch wrapped with that plastic wrap. It has metal bands holding it together. Now, if each individual packet, there's 500 in a packet, the whole pallet has 2 stacks on it. Each individual packet is wrapped in paper. Now, you can cut the plastic off, and you can take all the metal banding and everything. Not this guy. He cuts the banding. He leaves it on there. He cuts the plastic down maybe 3 inches, just gets what he wants, and then leaves the rest for other people to have a hard time with it. It is this the metal angle iron on the machine. He would sit there and say, "Oh, when your hands get glue on them, this prevents it from getting glue. And if it gets sticky, you just cut those zip ties that he zip tied to there, and you throw them on and you replace them." He's never replaced those, and that's the reason the boss took those zip ties and put them in the office, because because of this idiot doing stupid shit with them like this. Like, zip tying pieces of cardboard to his machine. On his machine where he stands, we had these rubber mats. You could buy them from Menards for like $30 a piece. There was 2 of them. He cuts corners out of them from whatever goddamn reason he had. And he had like stacks of, he had like layers of cardboard, 2 of those mats, those rubber mats, and a layer of wood, like particle board, to stand on. The shit you could trip on when you walk on your machines. It's just ridiculous. He had a fan, all right? He had a 20-inch fan. You could buy them at Walmart for like $40. He had the fan there, and it'd blow on you. It was hot in the summer. Okay, understand that. He went out and bought a 23-inch DeWalt fan. As if that fan wasn't on fast enough, he went out and bought a DeWalt fan that does the same exact thing that one cheap fan did, and it wasn't even his fan. He didn't even buy that fan. He bought it off of somebody else that quit. But he bought a fan. He probably used a credit card that his wages got garnished, just got done get garnished like 2 years prior. So what does he do? Breaks out the credit cards and starts spending it again. The guy's an idiot. He forgot his phone at home. His wife drives him to work because he don't have a car. If he worked hard, he'd get raises, he'd be able to make more money, and he'd be able to buy a car. No, his wife comes to work, drops him off at work. He knows he forgot his phone at home. Does he send her back home and to pick it up and bring it back to work? No, he goes home with her and drives back. Because he just got there right when time was start. All right, there was a job that he had to do. He's working next to somebody, okay? If you could picture, you have these boxes. Each one like has bolts, nuts, a screw, and maybe some other plastic part. His job was to take a bag and grab whatever screw, put it in the bag. Put a bolt in the bag. Put a nut in the bag. Put a washer in a bag. Hand it to the next guy. And that guy would finish it up and seal the bag up and put it in the thing. This idiot couldn't even do that correctly. The boss told him, he says, he'll never do it again. So, what he does, we had to pay someone extra to sit and go through all those bags that he did, because the guy who's handing it to it knew it. He talked to the boss, and he says, so they had to pay somebody to go through that damn things and look at every bag that they sealed up, because this idiot couldn't fucking do a goddamn simple job like that. Okay, if we're slow and we ain't got nothing to do, maybe there's 2 or 3 hours left in the day, you can grab a broom and sweep floors. That's easier than any job you're going to do in there is sweep a floor. No, he'd rather go home and make no money, play video games and smoke pot, than he would sweep floors. See, this is what weed does to you, man. It makes you stupid, and it makes you lazy. Just the dumbest, it turns people so damn dumb, and this is the prime example of this guy. He doesn't want to work hard. He doesn't want to get a raise. That's what he tells his wife before he married her. She told me. She goes, you need me. No, you need her because you can't do a goddamn thing at home. Because he was showing me something on his phone, and he brought this big bud to this marijuana leaf, and I was like, oh, this is what this guy's doing. The laziest. He had these little plastic bands. They were about 1/4 inch wide, and they went around a product. And they were underneath his machine. You know what he does? Instead of going down there like a normal person, pick them up and throw them in the garbage, he picks them up and he wraps them up into like a big bunch, which probably took him 2 or 3 minutes to do, and he throws it back down on the floor until he gets a giant pile, then he throws it out. The guy's just an idiot. He's just an idiot. I've seen idiots before, but this is ridiculous. The boss has told him multiple times, no vaping inside the warehouse. What does he do? He still vapes inside the warehouse. He had to tell him multiple times. And the boss also told him, he goes, hey, if you need to vape, do it over by the picnic table that's like 20 feet away, 25 feet away, because that smell comes into the break room. What's he do when it's raining outside? It might be sprinkling. I actually got videos of it. He opens the door, he steps right outside the door, he stands there because he doesn't like to get wet. And he hits on his vape, and not just hits on it. He's one of these people that turns it up all the way and inhales, and all this vape comes out. Look at me kind of thing. Like a douchebag. And he takes another big hit off of it. And as he's opening the door, he blows it, and he opens the door and it pulls it into the break room. Then everybody else has to smell that shit. And he's just a goddamn idiot. Oh, and this is another one. He told me, he goes, oh, my car does good. He drives a Prius, all right? He's saying, oh yeah, my Prius does good in the snow. Probably because it's so low to the ground. You know, low to the ground has nothing to do with good in the snow. Did you come to snow when we had 11 inches of snow? Or did you come to work when we had 11 inches of snow? No. I was there. We had people that four-wheel drive Jeep Cherokee didn't show up. I had an all-wheel drive car that was probably 8 inches off the ground. I was plowing snow with this car and I got to work. The guy's a lazy fuck. Well, he told me he had jobs as a welder. He got laid off because he underperformed. If you're a welder and you get laid off at any job, either you suck or you're not doing your job. And that's what he does. He gets at a job, he gets content, and then he just gets lazy. So he quit recently. We hired some girl, she must be 19 or 20 years old. Her first week, she did more work than he did. So he left, and I will guarantee it, within a year, he's going to get fired or laid off at that job. He's going to want to come back. He's not coming back. Because I'm going to tell the owner, no, he's not coming back. And yes, I got that kind of power. Another can of water. So when you work with people, the cell phone is the biggest problem that workplaces. If I owned a business, I'd be like, you can be on your phone and stuff, but if I sit there and catch you just looking at your phone, texting on your phone and sitting there for like 2 or 3 minutes, no, you're gone. I never look at my phone if the boss is back there. I look at my phone probably a minute, pushing a minute a day. I might have to change a podcast or something like that. That's the only time I look at it. If the boss comes walking back and you're sitting on your phone and you're texting and you're sitting there and sitting there and sitting and texting for like 2 minutes, dude, no. Can you imagine if you hired some kid and paid him hourly to rake leaves? To rake leaves. And you look in your backyard and he's sitting there texting on his phone, the same damn thing you do at your job? And you're probably going to bitch at him, right? Yeah, you probably would. You'd be like, hey, I'll pay you by the hour. What do you know? But I'll tell you, a generation after the baby boomers, every generation after that has gotten lazier and lazier and lazier. And it's I'm not like that. My kids know. No. You don't slack at work. You work harder than that next guy. You do a better job than him. So when it comes time to slow down, that guy's going. So that's that lazy bastard I worked with for years. You know, I'm glad he's gone. I hope I never see that dumb son of a bitch anymore. And I'm trying to think of all the stupid. Oh, one time I seen him drive down the dock. The dock goes up and down the side of the building. The doors were locked back there. I come in the next day. The garage door is wide open back there. And there's a man door off to the side. That dumb son of a bitch went down the dock and seen the doors were locked. He grabs the door handle on the garage door and rips it open and bends the latch on it. And got what he would. He got what he wanted. Probably a couple pieces of wood. The owner was still there probably. What's he do? He should have pulled it down from the inside and finagled a lock on it, to keep it closed, and walk out the man door and lock it behind yourself. And then get in your car and leave.